Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have brought you all here today to do a library haul. During this haul, I'm going to ask you to imagine some things for me. So I want you to imagine that I don't currently have 5 700 plus page fantasy books on my December TBR, 2 of which I need to get done this month because I'm participating in a readathon. I also want you to pretend like I am not planning on participating in Smuttathon, which started today, and I have 5 books on my TBR for that readathon. We're gonna pretend like those things don't exist because I certainly did when I walked into the library. So let's talk about the things that I got. By the way, you might hear a cat and or a ferret just living their lives. A lot of these things are new releases, which means that I have to get them done even faster than I would for a regular book. But we're gonna go over the books that I originally just planned on getting. By the way, it was just like a teeny tiny 6 that I planned on getting when I went to the library or made my library order, and then I was gonna go pick it up. So I had every intention of being good. Then I decided that I wanted to check out their horror section, which by the way, it's trash. And I was like, okay, so I'll pick up some books that I've been meaning to read since I'm here. And here we are. I got Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the first book in the City of Brass, or the Davabad trilogy. I gave the first one 5 out of 5 stars. This is a stunningly done fantasy story involving Middle Eastern folklore, Jinn, just some really interesting stuff, and like the writing is absolutely stunning. So I wanted to pick this up because I'm super excited to get back into the world. I picked up The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. This is one of those 700 page fantasy books that I was talking about. I originally checked it out, an ebook version of it for my library, and I knew that this was something that I'd have to read in person. So the next one, I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I have heard a lot about it, and I've been trying to get into sci-fi. So I picked up The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. It's a fairly short book, and I'm pretty sure it's kind of old. 1969. So this is an oldie. So it sounds like this is the story of an envoy going to this galaxy outside of their own, where they land on Winter, which is a world with ambisexual species, and it appears to be kind of primitive, but there's a lot about their culture and their customs and stuff that as alien as they originally thought. So we'll see how this goes. All right, and then next is a Dust Jacketless book. So I'm not entirely sure what this is about, but it is Fallen Kingdoms by something Rhodes. I listened to Ashley from Bookish Realm talk about her favorite series of all time or something for her Vlogmas videos. I'll link it down below if you already are not familiar with her channel. I highly recommend. She's fantastic. But she said this is like one of her favorite YA series, and it's like an OG that she thinks is underrated. So I want to give it a shot. So then we have a fairly new release. I think, yeah, this was released in October, and it is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily A. Danforth. So it sounds like there is this school that was inhabited by 2 girls that are obsessed with a young writer named Mary McLean, and she is the author of a scandalous best-selling memoir. They start their own private club and call it the Plain Bad Heroines Society. And then 5 years later, the school closes forever, and over a century later, the school becomes the setting for a breakout best-selling book, the history surrounding the haunted and cursed Gilded Age institution. It inspires a controversial horror film adaptation, and I guess they go back to the school to film it. So I have heard fantastic things about this, so I am ready to read it. It's thick. It's actually not that bad. It's like 600 pages. So then I have a First Contact with Aliens, pretty popular sci-fi that I'm extremely intimidated by, and that is The 3 Body Problem. All I know is it's First Contact with Aliens, and it's pretty popular. So we'll see. Sci-fi is a genre that super intimidates me, but adult fantasy intimidates me as well, and I'm like putting on my big girl panties and I'm giving it a shot and seeing if I like it. So I'm gonna give sci-fi a shot. If you have any other sci-fi recommendations for me, I would gladly take them. So on to the books that I just picked up while I was there because I saw them and I was like, oh, I want to read that. This released in July of 2020. I'm going based off of the stickers, so if I am wrong, I'm really sorry. My library is wrong, not me. So it is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. Horror. So it says, seemingly blending classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary, The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from their youth puts them in a desperate struggle for their lives. It's fairly short. It's just a little, it's like 303 pages or something like that. And I have heard raving reviews about this, so I'm excited. Next is another weird book, and that is Catherine House by Elizabeth Thomas. Again, weird academia, dark stuff's going on. This school, the Catherine House, is supposed to put out like some of the most genius people in their fields, but the school itself has some very strange rules while you are in it. Like, you can't communicate with the outside world, and just some other weird stuff that's going on. I've heard very mixed things about this. I think the apathetic nature of the main character really gets to a lot of people, but I sometimes can like that like narrative style. Another very big release right now. So this came out in September of 2020, and it is One by One by Ruth Ware. I have had mixed experiences with Ruth Ware. I've only liked one of her books, and I've read all of them but The Death of Miss Westerway. I read The Turn of the Key and loved it, and I've heard this is like a straight up just regular Agatha Christie-esque murder mystery, and I'm here for it. We'll give it a shot. Speaking of Agatha Christie, I got And Then There Were None. This will be my first Agatha Christie, and I'm ready for it. I'm sure a lot of people know what this is about, just a stereotypical murder mystery, and I've heard she's the queen of those. So I'm pretty sure I've checked this out previously and I just didn't get to it, but we'll see how this goes. I have 3 more pretty popular releases. So this came out in August of 2020, and this is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. I've heard mixed things about this. I've heard that her writing is like nothing most people have ever read before. And as far as I know, this is a love letter to New York, basically. And there are different, like, Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, and they each have their own souls, I guess. And that's pretty much all I know. I know it's weird, I think. So we'll see how I like it. It'll be my first, so I'm excited. She is a well-loved author, so I'm excited to get into her works. Probably didn't start at the right place, but the next one is A Burning. It says, an electrifying debut novel and a literary tour de force about 3 unforgettable characters who seek to rise to middle class, to political power, to fame in the movies, and find their lives entangled in the wake of catastrophe in contemporary India. I love this cover. Is that weird? Do people like this cover? It's like, I don't know. It draws the eye. So I had The Kingdom of Back. This is about Mozart's sister, who was the same, if not more talented than Mozart, but because she was a woman in this time period, she didn't get the same recognition. That's the spiel that I've heard 1,000 times, but I'm excited to pick it up and like see really what else this has to offer, because I'm expecting this to be great. Then the last book that I have to haul for you guys is The Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman, the prequel to Practical Magic. I didn't read Practical Magic. I plan to, but for some reason I thought one of them was in the 70s and I thought it was the newest one in the series, but I guess not. So this is the original, this is the start of the Practical Magic story. So this follows their great grandmother. I guess in the 1600s, like it says it right there, but for some reason my mind is stuck on the fact that one of these is set in 1970. But I'm excited to read this. I think I'm probably gonna read this in chronological order, not publication order. So I'll read this, and then I'll read the one that's set in the 70s, and then I'll read Practical Magic. Those are the library books that I have to haul for you guys. I'm gonna go set up my stuff for Smuttathon. I'm so excited for it. I have so many good books on my TBR, just further ignoring all of the books that I should be reading. But you know, it's fine. I like Smuttathon, it's my first year participating. So, comment down below your thoughts on any of the books that I hauled in this video. Have you read them? Are they good? Which ones should I prioritize? Probably the ones that are due the soonest, but that's not really how I work. So, I would love to hear your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Thanks so much for watching.